Cimoooooooooo!
What is up YouTube, this is Zane from TeamJudgementYugioh here, uploading on Cimo's channel. Thanks for letting us upload onto your channel. Be sure to check out his video, his Telenite deck profile, which is on our channel. The link should be in the description down below. So this is our take on Spellbooks for the September 2014 format now. I don't really think the ban list is going to affect this in any way, however, saying that, the deck is really good this format. I believe it to be one of the best non-Duelist Alliance based meta decks, simply because it says no to Shadows and Burning Abyss, and it's complete how do I say this? It's complete lack of graveyard requirements or something. Yeah, basically this deck does not use the graveyard, which enables me to play a few tech choices that definitely shut down a few decks. So yep, I'm going to be going over the 40 card main deck, and then I'm only running 10 cards in the extra deck because with Spellbooks you don't really require an extra deck, but it's definitely nice to have, so I will show profile the extra deck. So let's get straight in. Start off with triple High Priestess of Prophecy. I am playing the Priestess variant. I do believe it to be better this format because Priestess just helps you control the game, and she's the boss monster of the deck. Most power is your ultimate win condition, the most powerful monster in the deck. So triple Priestess. Next up, triple Spellbook Magician of Prophecy. He's the Stratos. You want to see him in your opening hand. You want him as fast as you can. You normal summon him, then you get to search any spell card and add it to your hand. So it's a really good card, and you want to open up with this guy. So triple Spellbook Magician of Prophecy. And the last monster we do run is triple Justice of Prophecy. This is a pseudo rescue rabbit in the sense that you can banish it during the end phase of a turn in which you activate a Spellbook spell card. Then you get to add both one High Priestess of Prophecy and any Spellbook spell card. So it's a really good +1, and also the 1600 attack isn't too bad. So yep, triple Justice of Prophecy. So we're only running 9 monsters, guys. Despite what some people might believe, this monster count isn't too low. I mean, you won't see monsters that often, but with this deck you do so much deck thinning that you don't need to worry about drawing into these, because you eventually always will. And you get to add a lot of searching as well. So you probably search this to hand, or you probably search this to hand with Justice Prophecy. So that is the monster lineup, guys. 9 monsters. On to the spells. Start off with the joint best Spellbook spell card in the game. Triple Spellbook of Secrets. Without this card, the deck would not be able to function. It's just the best card in the deck, along with Fate, of course. So triple Spellbook of Secrets. And next up, triple Spellbook Library of the Crescent. This card is it's really overrated in my opinion, because if you activate this, it disables your ability to activate non-Spellbook spell cards, for example like Pot of Duality, Book of Moon and Dark Hole. However, saying that, it definitely helps. It helps deck thin, and it's also just another book, because we are playing the Priestess variant, and sometimes just having 3 books in hand is really crucial, because you need to make those big pushes by summoning out Priestess. And also, if it's in the graveyard, you can banish it with Priestess to pop a card. And again, it's more targets for Fate. It definitely helps deck thin. If you open up with this, you want to activate it straight away, so that you don't actually accidentally forget about it and activate a non-Spellbook spell card. So triple Spellbook Library of the Crescent. Next up, double Spellbook of the Master. The reason for not running free is mainly due to the fact that you have to have a face-up spellcaster type monster to activate and resolve the effect, and when you're running only 9 monsters, that won't always be the case. So therefore 2 seems to be the right number. 1 is far too few in my opinion, because it's very versatile in what it does. So double Spellbook of the Master. Next up, double the Grand Spellbook Tower. This card has actually recently shot up in price. I don't quite know why it's expensive as it is. However, saying that, it's a really good card though. So it basically just allows you to draw 2 cards every turn if you have the right setup. You want to see this turn 1, because having the Tower, Spellbook Magician and Prophecy setup, and Fate as well is very, very strong. And the ability just to draw an extra card each turn definitely helps with consistency. It helps you deck thin. It helps you get to the right cards you need to make go for the big pushes. So double the Grand Spellbook Tower. I wouldn't run it at 3 because then it will become a bit too cloggy. I definitely wouldn't run it at 1, because if your opponent Mystical Space Typhoons the first one, or destroys it with some mean, it goes to the graveyard, it's going to be nearly impossible for you to get it back to your hand unless you banish it with Fate and then add Eternity. However, it's just a lot easier to have the second one that you can search out and then activate that. So double the Grand Spellbook Tower is necessary in my opinion. Now next up, double Spellbook of Wisdom. It's just a searchable Forbidden Lance, and it just keeps you 1 step ahead of your opponent. It's a really good card. when you're summoning up Priestess, you want to have one of these in hand just in case they decide to Bottomless or Torrential or something. Spellbook of Wisdom is a really good card, and you don't usually want to reveal this when you're summoning up Priestess. You want this as a surprise because it definitely helps throw your opponent off guard. So double Spellbook of Wisdom. Again, I think three would be a bit too many. However, 1 wouldn't be enough because this definitely is a good card. It helps you play around your opponent's problem cards like Breakthrough Skill and stuff like that. Especially if your opponent tries breakthrough skilling your blue boy. Definitely helps. Happened to me a few times. Next up, double Spellbook of Eternity. You do quite a lot of banishing in this deck via High Priestess of Prophecy and also Spellbook of Fate. So therefore this card is almost never dead. Although saying that, it's not something you want to open up with. It's something you want to search out or be able to draw into a mid to late game, because you won't usually have banished cards right away in the game. But the card itself is very good. It's basically just getting back any Spellbook card that you banish, and you do, like I said, you do a lot of banishing in this deck. So double Spellbook of Eternity. Next up, for the one-offs, 1 Spellbook of Power. This is just there to be over things that Priestess can't pop. For example, Leo, Keeper of the Sacred Tree. You can make Priestess 3/5 attack over him and they get to search. So Spellbook of Power at 1. 1 Spellbook of Life for reviving a Priestess, and also just for reviving a Priestess, and just for bringing this card back. And when it goes to the graveyard, this is how you want to get back to your hand, or not to your hand. Sorry, what am I saying? To your side of the field. And also again, just another book. And then 1 Spellbook of Fate, best card in the deck along with Spellbook of Secrets. This card is so good. It's such a good card, guys. I mean, Spellbook of Fate is really good. What it does is that you can banish 1 Spellbook spell card to return 1 set spell trap card on the field to the hand. You can banish 2 to change 1 monster in the field face down or face up, or flip it face down or face up. So that you can also, if your opponent has a set card, you're not quite sure what it is, whether it's a hand or something, you flip it face up, which definitely helps. And the best effect, in my opinion, you can banish 3 Spellbook spell cards to banish 1 card your opponent controls. That gets around pretty much everything in this format. This card gives Spellbook the edge. Really good card. I'd love it if it came back to 2 or maybe even 3. So those are all the Spellbook spell cards. On to the non-Spellbook spell cards. We are running double Pot of Duality. While I am aware it does conflict with Spellbook Library of the Crescent, I do believe it to be very good in this deck simply because it helps you get out of bricked hands, and it's something this deck loses to. This deck doesn't really lose to your opponent more than it loses to itself. So double Pot of Duality definitely helps with when you're stuck for plays, and also it just helps you dig. It helps you dig for the combo pieces. You don't really special summon a lot on this turn. You only really special summon on 1 turn. So double Pot of Duality definitely helps you out more than it does hurt you. And for one Forbidden Chalice, the theory behind this was that you can just top deck it. You can just top deck it and then straight away activate it. If I was running Fiendish Chain and Breakthrough Skill, for example, I'd have to top deck it, wait a turn, set it, then activate it, and then hope it doesn't get trap stunned or wiretapped or something else. Whereas this, you can it's immune to those kind of trap negation cards, and also it's just a lot better. And also you can bump your Priestess up to 2900. Which can definitely help in certain situations. So 1 Forbidden Chalice. The 1 Dimensional Fissure. Now, you don't really rely on the graveyard an awful lot on this deck. So Dimensional Fissure is first of all, it hurts Shadows. It hurts Burning Abyss a lot. Those 2 decks, this card ruins. And it hurts the Tellarknights to a degree. So the 3 main meta decks, this card gets around. So it's a really, really good anti-meta card. And I would, if I could play 2 or 3, I would. It's so good in this deck. You don't really need your graveyard in this deck, and it just sends monsters, not any cards like Macrocosmos. So it definitely helps. So 1 D-Fissure, and then 1 Dark Hole, 1 Book of Moon. Staple with Dark Hole, you really have monsters out on the field, so you're really going minus with that. And Book of Moon is just a really good spellbook. It's just a really good book, if you know what I mean. Okay, on to the traps. Triple Reckless Greed. This draw power is just so ridiculous. I mean, if you open up multiples of this, you pretty much won that game because the advantage will just become too much for your opponent to handle. It's just a really, really good card. Reckless Greed. I mean, if you set it and then you activate it and then you draw twice and you draw your normal draw, and then you draw with Tower, so you're essentially drawing 4 cards, and again you can forego your draw phase because of the Grand Spellbook Tower, which allows you to draw 1 card each turn anyway. So the Triple Reckless Greed doesn't hurt you that much, and it's just a really good push play card, because if you activate it, you draw into Priestess and a book. You're really going to be in a winning position. Next up, double Fiendish Chain. The only reason I'm playing Fiendish Chain over Break for Skill in this deck is quite simply due to the fact that Fiendish Chain also stops attacks. So with 9 monsters in your main deck, you won't always have a monster out in the field to stop you losing life points. So Fiendish Chain definitely helps out in that sense, and it's just a good effect negation as well. Then I'm playing a standard 1-ofs in the form of 1 Compulse, 1 Bottomless, 1 Torrential, and 1 Solemn Warning. So that is the main deck, guys. On to the extra deck. This deck has a really good matchup versus Shadows, and Burning Abyss, meh, but it's a really good matchup against Shadows. So on to the extra deck. I do apologise, the sleeves are a bit weird in here. I just took cards out of binders, etc. So for the 2s, because you can make them via double Blue Boy, 1 Armored Kappa, 1 Ghost Trick So Cute Boss, 1 Herald of Pure Light for Cycling Priestess, 1 Shining Elf, 1 Gachi Kentetsu, and 1 Daigusto Phoenix for putting 3000 damage on board. So those are the 2s. And then for the 3s, because you can make them, or however you really make them, 1 number 30 Acid Golem of Destruction, and 1 Mecrypt Engineer. So those are the 3s. You make them with Justice Prophecy. And then I run 1 Down the Magician just for overlaying over any of these. So yeah. And then I run 1 Big Eye. I probably should put in a Dracosack in here because this is only a 10 card extra deck. However, Dracosack is not necessary in this deck, but Big Eye, it helps out. The fact that it's Spellcaster as well definitely helps. So 1 number 11 Big Eye is a good card, and it just helps getting around Shadow window and stuff. So yeah, that has been the deck for our guys. If you do like what we see here, remember to head on over to our channel and be sure to check out Cimoooooooo's video on our channel. And this is Team Judgment Yu-Gi-Oh here signing out. Bye.